you sure this gonna work, Miss Harriet?
This our only chance to gain freedoms.
Well, I sure hope so. I was tired of all this unpaid, highly skilled labor that I put forth. Just that our future children can have no benefits and still have to deal with racial inequalities. 162 years later, Miss Harriet.
Make sure you catches it all.
That's quiet. That's right here, Miss Harriet. I ain't gonna leave you hanging.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. Oh, shit, they coming.
Harriet, I've never seen you be this frisky before.
Oh, Master. All these years I've been acting like I didn't love our special time together. Tonight, that's all gonna be different.
This ought to be fun for the both of us, as long as Mary don't find out.
Oh, I was never gonna tell.
Ooh, Miss Harriet. Chop it like a hot cone.
Yeah, you like that?
Oh, yeah. I do. I love you. I love it. I so do.
You better pick a cop.
So it. Yeah. We don't have an hour. You like it. All right. So what's you like? That's right. That's right. That's right. Set you free. I'll set you free.
Harry, you know I love you.
Look, I don't give a damn about what you love.
Harriet, why are you speaking like this?
Look, nigga, this is how it's gonna go.
Don't mistake my sexual desire for weakness. I will not be spoken to like that by a common slave.
Well, Massa, I've got what you white folks like to call leverage. And I'm gonna be telling everybody about your Negro love, including Mary.
Like anyone's gonna believe.
Get to work on that railroad, white nigga.
We'd like to thank y'all for watching Russell Simmons All Deaf Digital. Make sure y'all subscribe and like us on Slavebook. I'm at Facebook. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Dave Storm. Some very talented actors here, so make sure y'all subscribe. Deuces!
Wow. And so, you know, that's just very frustrating, especially when we're looking at, we're coming up on the anniversary of the so-called anniversary of when slavery was instituted as an industry in this country. I have to look that information back up. I think it's 400 years exactly. It's some sort of anniversary. But then, you know, also last year, in December, they were talking about the Emancipation Proclamation. You know, Lincoln came out, and even though, as we like to tell people, slavery was never abolished, but I'm just tripping. I'm tripping. That's not the proper word. I'm disgusted. But I'm not surprised that this has come from Russell Simmons, because I know a little bit about his history and some things he's done before. And he is all about getting paid. But how can you allow something like this that so dishonors, so soils the name of one of our greatest black women in history since we've been enslaved in this country, to be sullied like that? I mean, Max, I'm almost at a loss for words, bro. What do you got?
Well, I'm with you, Scotty. I am totally disgusted on this, and I think that when Paula Deen said what she said, she was ruined. But here we have Russell Simmons, who's supposed to be one of the biggest advocates for black activism in the community, which is a lie, by the way. But he's supposed to be. He's the guy to help to draft that letter that was sent out. Here he is putting out something like this that so dishonors our history. And he's not the only one who has attacked our abolitionist forebears like Harriet Tubman. Also, Dr. Umar Johnson has done the same thing with his forebear, who he says is his great-great-great-great-grandfather, which is Frederick Douglass. He disowned him for first being born multiracial and second for marrying a white woman in his elder years and moving to Canada. Totally disowned him. So it's not just coming from Russell, but Russell should not be allowed to get away with this. We should be treating him the same way we treated Rick Ross, the same way we treated Lil Wayne when he talked about Emmett Tills. We should be really up in arms about this so so that the next person who even thinks about doing something like this will look at Russell Simmons and what happened to him as an example before they open their mouth or open their checkbook and sign on to any ridiculous nonsense like this. I feel so insulted considering what we do on a daily basis, you know, and it also implies to me that these guys have no clue whatsoever about what's really going on in this country. They're nothing but capitalists capitalist vultures who just suck on our blood. You could just the rush card alone tells you what he's all about. He's like Rent-A-Center for credit cards with these high rates that he gets from the minorities in order for us to put our money into his bank account. I've known him as a rip-off artist now for many years. All of the Def Poetry Jam poets that have been on have never received a single dime. They even lost the copyrights to their poems that were done on this show. I was asked to come on this show at least twice, and I turned it down 2 times for that very reason. This guy he just sucks our blood. I don't think he has our best interests in mind. I think it looks good on the surface, but when you see what's underneath like this and the dark past that he's been involved in, you realize he's been working on the other side all along.
And then he has the nerve to send an open letter to Don Lemon.
Yes.
And then this is being put out under your name. Then they mention your name, Russell Simmons YouTube channel.
Yeah. Russell Simmons. I'm going to be posting this and getting it around. It's disgusting, Scotty. We cannot allow this to pass. And this guy needs to feel the wrath of the black community for what he's doing here. This is ridiculous. It should not be allowed to stand. And he's the first guy to talk crap about what people are saying.
Yeah. And I'm not going to circulate the video. But I'm going to put out my own video, and I'll just do a screenshot of the image. Because it shows her over, bent over in the bed with this white man humping her.
There. And he's humping her, she humps him, she rides him. It's ridiculous. It is totally ridiculous. So what people didn't hear in the audio is that they have another guy who's supposed to be a slave in the closet, like a voyeur watching it all and videotaping it.
This is just disgusting, man. And then this is the type of stuff that, and no, I'm not going to use the word gives credence to, but gives ammunition to people like Bill O'Reilly, Sean Hannity, Rush Limbaugh. Well, why are you getting mad at me? Russell Simmons said it, So what? Black people can diss their own historical figures, but I can't do it because I'm white?
They make a good argument when you hear stuff like that.
Disgusting.
I would wish that the Storm Power, Shannon Malcolm, and Jason Horton would make their apologies and start getting them ready to announce their apologies and to take their name off this video and say that they don't want anything else to do with it, to understand what they have done wrong. Just like Lil Wayne and Rick Ross and then we're talking about. I mean, for me, this is no different than Rick Ross talking about giving women mollies and raping them. It's really no different to me.
No, it's no different. It's worse, I would say.
Yes, worse.
It's nothing sacred to these people. And again, you have to think about the mindset of an actor who would even take such a role. Are we that desperate to get put on? Are we that desperate to get put on? Apparently so. Apparently some people, this is no different than what Tommy Sotomayor does.
Yeah, another one. And we have to deal with these people on a regular basis, and it's a shame that it's our own brothers and sisters, you know what I mean? That's the hardest part about what we're fighting right now. We're not just fighting white supremacy. We're also, at the same time, trying to deal with our own brothers and sisters who are so caught up in this capitalistic culture of imperialism and colonialism that they don't know any other way. It's the only ideas that exist in their mind, and they want it to continue just so long as they can maintain a position of power and wealth.
Tell you, man, if you're not in this fight already, what are you waiting on? Because it is evident that the enemy stay on his job. He's recruiting, people from among us, people selling us out left and right. So that just means it's going to take extra commitment from on my behalf, on others of like mind. We're just going to have to really stay on our job and get better at it. Cause this is, I mean, man, I hate for a kid to see this, man. Who's Harriet Tubman? And the first time they hear Harriet Tubman is on this fake sex tape.
I would like to see my man Jasiri X and New York Oil do a remix of Y'all Should All Get Lynched and include this segment, parts of this segment from Russell Simmons in the remix. I don't know if you ever seen that video by New York Oil called Y'all Should All Get Lynched. It was a very controversial video. Yes, very controversial. Got took off YouTube a couple times, but they were right on point, and they addressed these very situations right there and then. And I think it came out about 3 or maybe 4 years ago, maybe even 5, but I doubt it. Maybe 4 years ago. But they should do a remix, and we know Jasiri. We've had him on the show before, and I also know him personally. And New York Oil, they really should consider doing a remix and including that on it.
Yes, they should. Yes, they should, man. This is just disgusting. And I bet you, you mentioned that video got taken off of YouTube. And even though this one pretty much has a low rating, it's kind of like a tie. I can't believe, well, yes, I can believe people who are liking this. But I'm glad to see that it seems just as many people are disliking the video. But I don't even want to circulate the video except for, people that really need to see it. But I'm going to do an own video and grab a screenshot. You're exactly right. This dude needs to pay for this. He needs to do the time for the crime that he just committed against the entire black community, and specifically the crime he has committed against the memory of our dear sister, our dear elder, who is now with the ancestors, who did so many selfless acts, to free enslaved Africans in this country, and for him to do that, and like I would say, like she would say, I freed a whole lot of slaves, but I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves. And these people don't realize it, that they are slaves.
They think that they're eating from the same plate as Master, and Master will throw their asses out that door real quick. They'll find that out the hard way.
Well, Max, I want to thank you for calling in again. Max Parthas, he is one of the hosts of New Abolitionist Radio. That podcast from tonight's program will be posted within the hour. It's already been uploaded. It just has to be posted to the blog. And Max, thanks, man. And yeah, we got to stay on the grind, bro. And I appreciate your efforts in this movement.
Thank you, my brother. I will talk to you again soon. Peace to you and your audience.
Peace.